Hey Bryce, how's it going?
It's going alright. I haven't been doing much lately. I'm excited about Logan. Logan's coming out.
Yeah.
And I saw the Super Bowl trailer, and it's just, oh my god. I had thoughts about it and everything else, but like it's looking to be one of the movies that I really enjoy, which is a grittier action movie.
Mm-hmm.
And especially one with as you can tell with my D&D characters, usually has some sort of troubled past.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's clear that up. Your character's never, like, when I hear troubled past, I think like something that would be impossible to have happened to anybody. Mm-hmm. Your characters are never so far as like, and then my dog died, and my girlfriend broke. Like, you're never to like country song troubled past. So like an incident happened that like made you take this path. That's different.
No, but it's. I do like the sort of like, older kind of gruff action hero to where it's like, okay, cool, he's been around the block a time or two. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's doing, but he's not the most pleasant person to be around.
No,
but he gets the job done, and as you watch the movie, you see, okay, yeah, he is a decent guy. It's just he's rough around the edges.
Especially when you watched all of your friends die. Like, yes. There's definitely, I don't know the Old Man Logan comic series that this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And granted, based on the last X-Men movies that we've seen, how much of that is actually ends up in the show. But I'm under the impression... excuse me. I'm under the impression that a lot of the...
no, go away.
All the X-Men died. Like, that he and Xavier are, like, the last two mutants standing? Like...
That's what it seems like. And from what... I don't know. I've never read Old Man Logan comics.
It's at the comic book store that I go to play D&D. And I really need to pick it up.
Yeah. But I got a little bit of a gist of it, which is apparently something happens and it causes him to go crazy, and then he kills all the X-Men. Which
What?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the Super Bowl trailer, so that's the Super Bowl trailer?
No. That's Old Man Logan comic.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I don't know about like this one,
Whoa.
but to be honest, like if they did something like that, for a split second I was like, okay, they're making a deal with Marvel to try and bring in like the X-Men. And so I was thinking, okay, this is going to be like their sort of coup de grace. They can finish out Wolverine. They can finish out the X-Men, and then, go from there. Doesn't look like it's going to be doing that, because they're doing like a Gambit movie or whatever.
Still.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. But, no, I think it'll be interesting. So, I'm looking forward to that. I think isn't Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming out in May?
Ooh, May?
Yeah, May 5th, I think, is what it is. It's May... I think it's like May 5th, and then... God, I just looked this morning. That's May 5th, and then, like, later this year, I can't remember when, is Spider-Man Homecoming. So, which, I'm getting a little tired of popping around with Spider-Man. Like...
He's this guy, he's that guy, he's this other guy.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting how Spider-Man is really one of the few movie adaptations of a comic book series that follows, meta-wise at least, what a comic book series is like, where you have different versions of the same superhero all being written by different people, all being produced at once. So it's interesting how you can see, like, Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire, is that his last name? Tobey Maguire, and then Andrew Garfield, and now I don't even know this kid's name, but this kid, who I think Tobey Maguire's problem was that he was believable Spider-Man, but he was not a very believable Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield, I haven't seen this series, so I can't comment on him, but from the clips that I've seen referenced, he seemed to be a very believable Peter Parker, because he had that kind of like cool nerd going for him. But Spider-Man parts were sometimes a little too quippy. Now, obviously the only parts of the new Spider-Man that I've seen are the ones in Civil War, and he seems to have all of it. He seems to have, like, he's a nerd, he's insecure, you know, he doesn't know where he fits in, and he's got these powers that he feels like he has to do something with, but he can't get caught doing something with, you know. And he is funny, he is quippy. That's one of the things that a lot of people are drawn to Spider-Man in particular for, is the quips, you know. But he also, I believe, when in that scene, in that airport scene in Civil War, I believe that this kid could legitimately fight these seasoned heroes. Because he doesn't win. He doesn't, like, kick butt. But he has moments of awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you know, he's comfortable enough in his own powers to be able to handle himself. You know, maybe not win, but he can certainly handle himself. Yeah. And, no, when the Amazing Spider-Man came around, like, I was like, no, this is, what are they doing? What are they doing? Don't get me wrong. Like, the third Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire was like,
I have yet to see it, and that was a great decision on my part.
It was.
I ended on Spider-Man 2 and kept kissing in the web and the whatever. Like, that is the way that movie ends for me.
Yeah. No, they tried to stuff way too much into the third movie, and it just ended up sort of a jumbled mess. But no, like, I was just sort of like, no, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, what's going on? And so I was very skeptical going in. And then I watched it and I was just like, oh my god. Because he does have the quips that, you know, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man doesn't have. No. And so it makes it enjoyable. And while he is a very good Peter Parker, I think he really does a good Spider-Man, because he does have the quips and he makes it a little bit fun. But then when the serious issues come up, you can see sort of like the devastation that it leaves, like how he's struggling through this. And so I really enjoyed it, and I liked both of the episodes. Or not episodes.
Why did I say
episodes? Movies. And so, like, when it ended, I was like, what's going on? Stop this.
Yeah.
Why would you do this to me? So, I don't know. I think the new guy could be good. It gets a little strange when every single reiteration of the Spider-Man gets younger and younger. Like, they actually made a joke where they were like the next Spider-Man and Aunt May. It was like a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Oh no!
Because they kept getting younger. So I don't know. I think he'll do all right. I'm not gonna hold it against him. I'm not gonna, you know, judge him before actually seeing more of him. I mean, from what we've seen in, like, Civil War and everything, he does look like he can do it. So, but the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer for the second one was Groot.
Oh my god. My boyfriend and I just kept quoting that part to each other, because he got me for Christmas, he got me a stuffed Groot, like, plushie. And so, like, all of Christmas weekend, it was like, I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I mean, just...
It's like, Groot, where'd you go?
I am Groot. I know, it's hilarious. Like, you would just be like, I am Groot. And it's just, oh my god. It's gonna be good. It's nice to see the fun in a Marvel movie again. Like, a lot of it kind of went away from fun because they had to cover so much heavy stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they didn't shy away from the heavy stuff. But, you know, sometimes it's like, I don't want to watch the world pile on to Captain America. Yeah. I want to see some silly people with the ability to do awesome stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy, because it is that sort of, like, you know, a band of misfits sort of thrown together and being able to do these amazing things while also kind of being silly idiots. Which is fantastic, and I think that's what they tried to do with Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
But it just, they failed. And, like, I was okay with it when I watched it, I just watched CinemaSins around.
Yeah.
And, like, as soon as I was done with that, I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
There are so many issues with this. It's, like, I heard that they have, like, enough footage of the Joker to make a Joker movie.
Yeah, but I'm going to call some BS on that, because it's the same thing when Fantastic Four Stick came out, because that's Fan Four Stick or whatever it is, because that's the way they decided to spell it or whatever. When that newest Fantastic Four came out, oh my god, shut up.
That's the universe calling.
Okay.
Telling us to calm down our nerddom. The levels are peaking.
There we go.
And we're disrupting the balance of the universe.
We'll cut all that bull out.
No.
So
Never.
I'm gonna call. So anyway, when the Fantastic Four movie came out and the director came out like that weekend and said, well, I had a different way that this movie was gonna go, and they edited it to do this. They changed everything around. It's like, that feels like you distancing you're not happy with the product that came out. That's fine, but you had options available to you that you didn't choose to do, so you're now just saying this because you know how terrible this movie is.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, Suicide Squad is not at the level of that. I have not even seen that Fantastic Four movie because but
I saw it. It's not good. It's really not.
The clips that I saw were just boring.
Yeah.
It's just boring.
It is. From start to finish.
It's not offensive.
The only time throughout that entire movie that I enjoyed was the end. For two reasons. One, it ended. Two, for like 30 seconds, they actually had chemistry. For 30 seconds, the team actually had chemistry. And it was like, okay, that's Fantastic Four. Rest of the movie, nope, didn't work.
It also kind of bothered me, when they were in the making of or whatever, and everyone started getting up in arms. It's like, because Johnny Storm's going to be black. I had no problem with Johnny Storm being black. I had a problem with the fact that Sue Storm wasn't.
Yes.
I'm like, they're brother and sister. Don't make this adoptive brother BS nonsense. Just make them brother and sister. Race bend the characters, because let's face it, the world of superheroes is a little too white, and if some of those characters got race bent, it would not like be the end of the world, so just do that. Do it all the way. Don't just do it part of the way, because then it comes off as like, here's the token black guy.
I feel like they wanted to try and bring in more races to it, but they were afraid to go too far.
Yeah.
Because, Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm's supposed to be like an item or whatever.
Right.
So I think they were afraid to go too far and to have the interracial relationship.
Right, because of course the world can't handle that.
Nope, can't.
It's only been, 50 years since the first interracial kiss on screen. Like, the first kiss was between Spock and Uhura in the original Star Trek series. Mm-hmm. That was an uproar. People were not okay with that coming in on their televisions. I think, with the world the way it is, who knows? But I would hope that just because it's scary doesn't mean that you shy away from it.
Yeah.
If things were scary, we wouldn't have half the stuff that we have now.
Yeah. No, fear should never really be a deciding factor. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fear can help you a lot. It'll keep you from doing stupid things.
Yeah, it keeps you alive.
Yeah, but...
healthy amount of fear is good.
Yeah, but when you let fear control you into shying away from things that aren't really scary, it's just uncomfortable, then you're never going to grow as a person. And it's going to end up that, you're just bland.
Yeah.
No one wants to be bland. Like, you're like water. I mean, you'll be there.
Technically, Bryce, we're all water.
Stop your science nonsense. You stop this nonsense.
The look you gave me was like, your dad jokes are not welcome here.
Oh no, I love dad jokes. Dad jokes are fantastic.
I like your flamingo dad joke.
Oh, yes. I will subject you all to this horror. My wife told me to stop acting like a flamingo. I just had to put my foot down.
Ba-dum-bum. Oh boy.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Comedy stylings.
Dad jokes. All of them. Whole episode.
Oh.
Just dad jokes.
You know what? That can be our April Fool's episode.
Yes, we will.
Dad jokes.
We will put out like this wonderful title, like we're talking about some fantastic topic, and everybody's gonna be excited, and then all of a sudden, nope, just dad jokes. An hour and 15 minutes of dad jokes.
Strap in, kids.
Buckle up for safety.
But getting back to Suicide Squad before we went on the Fantastic Four side talk.
We took a right. We should have taken a left. I don't know what we were thinking.
But with the Suicide Squad, you know, like saying, "Oh, I've got all this material for the Joker. I've got all this material. We could have made a whole movie with the Joker." Then you should have.
Yeah.
There was a reason you didn't. Because there are other, you know, I think that a lot of Suicide Squad had to be done in post, or they had to do a whole bunch of reshoots. So typically when that happens, you have tested it out on an audience.
Yeah.
So the audience didn't like it then. Now, granted, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Like, my favorite story about an audience is that, because I'm a huge Disney nerd, The Little Mermaid, one of the iconic songs, Part of Your World, almost didn't make it into the movie, because when they were testing this for kids, all the kids were, like, getting antsy or whatever during the song. So they were like, nope, they don't like it, we'll just take it out. And, you know, the writer of the song, Howard Ashman, he fought for it, and it became a song that it is today. So, you know, sometimes that doesn't work out great. Sometimes you have just one audience doesn't really get it. But generally, you changed it from whatever. I mean, I feel like if they were going to do anything, they should have gone more heavy with Waller being the bad guy. Like that the Enchantress was the obstacle in the way. You know, she had her own thing going. But that the actual bad guy is Waller, because she doesn't see these people as people. Yeah. She just sees them as, you know, things like weapons to be used, picked up and whatever.
No, I think the problem with it is that they... Honestly, the concept of it, especially with like them using like my own language. Enchantress as like the big bad guy, is like, think of the amount of power she had. And don't get me wrong, there are some people that had some good power, like El Diablo, which, if you notice, which they pointed out in Cinema Sense, didn't really do much until the end. Yeah, because he would have been overkill.
Because he's too powerful.
So it was just, the problem is they were trying to play up characters that wouldn't really be able to do much, like Deadshot. Don't get me wrong, no matter how good Will Smith was at doing it, like Will Smith was
good at it, but at the same time, they made me feel bad for him. Yeah. And I don't want to feel bad for this guy that kills people for money. He's a Batman villain.
Yeah. And not just that, but like, they put him out there and he's killing off these goons with headshots and trying to make him look like he's doing something amazing. Think of how many guys are behind him with guns, and he's the only one that can do this? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're playing up that he's like the perfect shot. But let's not knock down some of the military guys that are standing behind him that could, at the very least, get at least 1 out of 5 shots out actually hit the head. Yeah.
So, I was unimpressed with Suicide Squad. I was I wanted to go see it in theaters. It was my first date with my boyfriend, so something good came out of that night, but...
Are you sure that wasn't the movie?
The movie was not it. Nope. Both of us walked out and were like, well, that was disappointing. And I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to try to pretend to like this movie, because I am a horrible critic of media, all types of media. Doesn't matter how it's being produced. Each one has their merits. And there's I will not judge a book by a movie standards. I will not judge a movie by a YouTube standards, or vice versa, things like that. You know, they all have their own different criteria, but they have to meet it. And my logic is always that it either costs me time or it costs me money, and I have very little of both. So, if you're going to cost me time, if you're not going to be good enough, I'm just going to go move on to the other thing. Because when you're good, I'll be obsessed with you forever. That's why I'm a fangirl. But,
they're all just
professional fangirl. But if you're costing me money, if I have to go see you in a theater, that is money I could use for something else. So you better be worth it. So I get very, very, very critical of material. Now, granted, I'm not saying that everything that I like is good, but it fits. It makes it worth my while to watch.
Oh yeah, because there are plenty of movies out there that people like that are terrible movies.
Oh yeah, no, I have some terrible movie opinions, but I love them. But
I don't know. And Jared, I can understand not using all... If they do have that much Joker footage, I can understand not using it, because Jared Leto was not the best Joker. He was not. He was okay, but it's just...
He got manic, but he was not... there was no humor.
Yeah.
There was no, uptick. There was all just,
he was constantly violent, constantly aggressive, and there was no... The Joker is supposed to have sort of that little bit of a lightness to him, to where it's sort of oh, this is all just good fun. This is just this is just a joke, and then he kills you, and he laughs about it.
Yeah, and then
because that's the joke.
Yeah.
So he went. Don't get me wrong. You have to go far to get the Joker, because you have to get that to a certain level of insanity to be able to really nail it down. But you have to
hit the light moments with just as much force as you're going to hit those really evil moments.
And so it was a little disappointing.
I liked the look of him.
Oh, yeah.
For a 21st century modernized Joker, I feel like that's exactly what he would look like. If he didn't physically have the smile, that he would tattoo it on his hand. The damage written across his forehead. I could see him being bored on a Saturday night and terrorizing whatever and walking into a parlor and having them do it and then shooting the guy because he didn't do it right, or even if he did, there's your tip, laugh, laugh, laugh. The look of him made sense, but the look is not the character. The look is a costume, designer, and the costume designer was good, but the rest of it, and its image.
Yeah. But, no, I've gotten on this kick for this one TV show, and I don't know if you've heard about it, Lucifer.
Ooh, I haven't watched it yet.
I recommend it highly, because I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back and watch the last episode, because they did a winter break, but they never got the winter finale done. So they did a winter break. So there was about a month or so where there was no episodes, and then they brought it back. So they brought it back for 3 episodes.
To end
3 wonderful, fantastic episodes to get to the winter finale. And they got the winter finale, and now it's not coming back till May. And
it's coming back though.
It's coming back. It's the winter. It's the winter finale.
I got you. I thought that they were and now we're done, because
No, it's exceptionally well done.
Well, it's based off of a comic series.
It is.
It's Bryce. It's based off of a comic series. So I read a series called Sandman. It's an old series.
Yeah,
so,
you've told me about it before.
I'm still in the process of reading them all. I think I've read 8 of the 13 or 11 that are out, and then there's, I think it's 11. Well, in the Sandman, they introduce a version of Lucifer when he has to go to Sandman. It isn't called Sandman. I'm sorry. All the nerds are like, he's not Sandman. He's not Sandman. I'm sorry. We'll cut all that because I don't want to whine at them.
No.
When
this is unfiltered.
Oh God.
This is unedited. This is a one shot, and we're gonna see what it goes
to.
Oh,
okay.
We still got time.
When Dream has to go to hell because he has to. I think he has to go there so he can talk to. I forget why he's there. He goes there a couple of different times. So anyway, so he has to go to hell, and you were introduced to this version of Lucifer, and you're introduced to a version of hell where he is bored as sin with this hell because he doesn't have to do anything. These people come here because they believe they deserve to be punished. He doesn't seek them out. He doesn't tell them to do bad things in his name. He's just been put in charge of this place because it's his punishment to watch all these people just vilify themselves. And so you're introduced to that. And then that was such a hit, that idea of Lucifer. And then in the Sandman series, he leaves. He escapes. He gets some other angels to watch hell for him because angels are weird characters in this version. And he gets some other angels to watch hell for him. He just leaves. And then they pick up with his own comic. Now, I haven't read that comic. I've only read the parts that were in the Sandman. But they pick up with their own comic, also titled Lucifer, and I'm imagining that it's the same thing where he's just going around having fun doing stuff.
In this they made it into like that, like the buddy cop
show,
but because it's such an unusual dynamic, it's amazing, and you get a lot of emotional stuff because he's the devil. He's never had to deal with anything like this before. So all of a sudden he's in the real world and he starts off just, having fun, partying, owns a nightclub, of course.
Because why not?
What else is the devil going to do? So, and then he, there's a murder. He meets this detective. And then it starts from there. He's intrigued by her because he can pull out what a person desires the most. And so he can do it to anybody. And he just says, what is it that you desire most? And they just spill. No matter if it's to kill someone or to sleep with someone or what. It's just whatever they desire most. And,
puppies!
And sometimes it's like completely like just...
It's not it's not unattainable or anything.
Yeah, it's just, it's a dream. It's a normal thing. It's nothing like devious or dastardly. It's just a normal thing. And it doesn't work on her. So he's, of course, like, well,
why? You don't want anything?
Yeah. Well, it's not even just
everybody wants something.
Yeah. It's not even just that she doesn't want anything. It's just like, she just looks at him like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to do? Because he tries to prove it to her, and it does nothing. And she's just like, very good.
Okay, crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So, it's just him dealing with the evolutions of his own emotions and dealing with actual people and trying to learn. And so they actually give him a psychiatrist. So, yeah. So they have, you know, his brothers come in and everything else. So the last few 3 episodes were amazing, and it was fantastic.
1 season, 2 seasons.
It's 2 seasons right now. The first season is like 13 episodes.
Half a season.
Yeah. The first season is only about that. I guess it's like a trial run or whatever. And then they started the second season, and that one's on around like episode 13 or so. And so they did through these 3, and like it's setting up, and you're like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden, just cuts it off, and it's just like, oh god, yeah, and so it's just leaves you with this cliffhanger, and it's like it's one of those cliffhangers that it's like it's kind of a cliffhanger, kind of not. It's like a definitive action has been made. Mm-hmm. It's just you have no idea what the fuck is going to happen now. So I'm waiting for May, and I'll probably go back and watch those 3 episodes again because they were just they brought me joy, so much joy. So we are actually hitting the end. A full 31 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 seconds of random content.
See, we just need to talk about what we're obsessed with.
Yeah.
We talked about what you're obsessed with. Next episode, we can talk about what I'm obsessed with. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah. I just do random stuff. We need to stop planning this out.
All right.
No more planning.
Oh, wait.
Okay, we're back. All right.
So we have to create our outro.
Of course we have to do an outro. Are we going to stick with the same outro?
I think so.
Okay. Then, yes, we will stick with the same outro for this brand new episode that is take 2 of our official first episode.
Yeah.
And
hey, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah,
the first 6 podcasts always suck. Like that's podcasting 101 right there. Is that your first ones are always terrible, but people stick into it and they go back and they listen to it. It's great.
Yeah.
So we want to ask people to come and like and follow us on Facebook at AncientB. That's ANCIENT capital B. You can also find us at Tumblr, the same thing. Or you can squawk at us on Twitter at AncientB with 3 E's at the end, because that's how many E's we needed to find an original username.
Because all the others were taken, because apparently AncientB is very popular.
So, yeah, and I think the only thing to say is...
in this lovely, troubling, and kind of hectic world at the moment, just last bits of wonderful advice from 2 amazing and excellent dudes.
Yeah.
Is be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.